InDesign supports native transparency. So what that means is if you're using transparency in any sort of image file, then InDesign will recognize that transparency, especially when you are working with clipping paths or layer mask in Photoshop. Now JPEGs will typically support a clipping path, and TIFF files and Photoshop files will not only support them, but also support layer masking. So what I want to do for this, and I'm going to move rather fast to show you this, but we're going to import an image into Photoshop, create a layer mask, save that down, and then import that mask back into InDesign. So to do that, I have Photoshop open. If you don't have it open, go ahead and pause the movie and open it. Like I said, I'm going to move rather fast here. And with Photoshop open, either using Bridge or using Explorer, open up your links folder and locate the image. Let's see, which one should we use here? We use XM1210 number 20, and I'm just going to slide that into Photoshop. Relatively good size file here. And I want to create a mask. Now, you will learn about mask in the Photoshop series, so I'm not going to sit in here and go through it step by step. But what I'm going to do is double click on background to convert that to a layer, highlight it, select my add mask layer, and select my mask. Actually, I want to select my layer first. I'm grabbing the magic wand tool. I'm going to hold down the shift key and just click around the sky area here of my building until the entire sky is highlighted. Now I'm going to grab and select my mask layer, which is this white layer here. I want to make sure that I have black selected in my color. I'm going to grab my paintbrush tool, and I'm just going to paint the sky black. But you'll notice with mask, black isn't black, it just creates transparency. Now if I was to use white, I wouldn't get the transparency. So as I go between white and dark, obviously that'll have an effect on the level of transparency that I'm applying to my image here. But I'm just going back and forth applying this, making sure that my entire sky has a mask applied to it. Then I'll click out of there. Now, this is how I know that I have the mask applied. Obviously, I see the mask here, and if I hold down the shift key and click, I can turn it off and on. But in this case, I'm going to make sure before I save it that the mask is on. I know it's on because I'm not going to have that X. And then I'm going to go to File, Save As, save it as Layer Mask PSD. And now I've saved it with the layer mask. I can minimize Photoshop, minimize my link folder. So we're back in InDesign. What I want to do is delete this background image by highlighting it and clicking delete. And then I think we'll go up to File, Place, and we're going to locate that layer mask PSD file that we just created. And then we can see the transparency applied in the preview. I'm going to click Open. And I'm going to click and drag down to the edge of my screen. So, if I move this image down, just to kind of position it so you can see it, the transparency came into InDesign. And there wasn't much more than I needed to do other than probably right click and change my display performance to high quality so I get smooth lines around the edge of my image here. But this is one way to apply transparency and to see how InDesign natively supports it.